Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. With Keir Starmer a bit like McCafferty, the cat that's never there, it meant that poor Angela Rayner had to step in at PMQs. And she was asked all these various questions, and notably, when asked about inheritance tax and asked if it would be increased again, if they'd have a look and try and make it even bigger and worse and utterly damaging to people, refused to answer. And that, as we know, dear viewer, means yes, it will. They're going to take another look. They're going to make it even worse. They're going to charge more because of the idea of anyone having anything appalls them. They want everything to be owned by the state. You will have nothing. If you have a massive inheritance tax, for example, and you can't pay it, they'll just take your house off you. They'll rent it back to you, of course. They're not heartless. But, unless that tax is paid, you ain't getting away with it. And that's the plan. That's what they're going to do. It's a way of nationalising everything. They're going to nationalise housing by increasing the inheritance tax so much that they will just take all your property. And that's how they control you. Because ownership is theft, apparently. And when you've got these Marxists in the building, it's going to happen. Now, that'll worry Angela. She's got two houses. That's double. How the hell is she going to cope when the time comes? She won't have that kind of money. She'll have to sell both houses and go back out on the game again. Although she won't earn as much this time, will she? But it's just one of those things. So all these estate owners are taking as much precautions as they can. Now, the latest wheeze, apparently, is that you turn everything you own into a corporate identity. And then that gets passed to a company and held by a company outside of Britain. And that way they can't come after that. When you die, you are basically paid a wage by that company, a small wage there, but, it's all very carefully done. And that's the way that a lot of the larger estates now, and the people that have looked into this are trying to do it. Seems reasonable if you can put ownership of things into, say, like a trust or something that is untouchable. And, why not? Why would you not do this? It's sensible. Of course, it won't last. It's 4.5 years. Don't die in the next 4.5 years. You'll be okay. The Tories have already said they're reversing it. They're actually going to go back, put it exactly how it was, and may even increase the allowance. And the same with the farmers. They've only, just hang on 4 years, whatever it is, because they said, again, as Kemi came out the other day and said, first thing they do with the farmers is they're reversing this. So it won't work, ultimately. Labour are on a hiding to nothing. And, of course, what has happened, of course, is that Labour have just made themselves unelectable for an entire one, if not two, generations. And that can only be good. Can only be good to get rid of these people. Now, she said that the vast number of estate owners won't be affected by the inheritance tax on farms. And there's a word for what she said there. And that word, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, is bollocks. The independent assessors have said that over 2/3 of estates will be affected. The OBR said over 2/3 will be affected. The Farmers Union has looked into this and said actually it's probably nearer 3/4, because if they count things held in farms but that are not personally owned and things like this, so things that are rented but are still counted as capital, that will be counted. He said it could be as high as 3/4 of these farms. And, of course, what will happen is you can't pay the debt off and the government take your farm and they'll turn it into whatever they got, housing probably, because they don't want farmland. They hate farmers, they hate farms, they hate anyone producing their own food. And that's why they're going for it. So when this generation of farmers pass away, the government will own all the farms. Except, of course, they won't, because this government will be gone in 4.5 years if it lasts that long. The Tories will probably be back in a coalition with the Reform. And both of them have said they're reversing all this shit. So hang on in there, I say. Let me know what you think. Thanks a lot. Take care. Goodbye.